So, hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about why this is wrong. So if that's something you're interested in, then keep watching. So let's just all watch the video and then we will discuss it. This video has gone viral on TikTok and Instagram multiple times and has been featured on quite a few of the larger tattoo pages, and we need to talk about it. Tattooist Arar, I'm not sure if I'm spelling that or pronouncing that correctly. They are a tattoo artist based out of Seoul, Korea, and it looks like they are doing some guest spots in Singapore as well. They have been promoting themselves as like a cover up. They keep on saying it's a cover up when in reality it's not a cover up, it's a reword. Maybe that's just because, you know, English is different than Korean. But we gotta talk about this. So, the video. He is going over the original tattoo, which says faith, with black ink, and then filling in the spaces between the letters with flesh tone. And it looks great. Wow, who knew you could do that with tiny tattoos? That is actually extremely inaccurate, and after a lot of digging, I'll explain to you why. First off, I want to talk about how tattoos work and scientifically explain why this is incorrect. So to do that, I found a video by another tattoo artist that is very informative, and we're going to play that real quick. So how do tattoos work?
It's cooler than you think. First, a tattoo needle punctures a hole in the skin. As that needle pulls out of the skin, a small vacuum is formed. That pressure difference sucks ink into the skin. Your body then has an immune response which sends white blood cells to the tattoo. These cells see the ink as a foreign substance and start to eat the ink particles. As your tattoo heals, some of the ink sheds with the top skin layer, but some of the ink remains in the skin, trapped by the white blood cells. As those cells die over time, more cells come and eat those particles again, creating an endless cycle. This process is what causes tattoos to be permanent, but it's also the...
So after a little bit of research, I found that it's actually not white blood cells that eat the ink. It's actually something called macrophages. And a lot of really interesting things as I was researching this came about. I knew how tattoos were deposited into the dermis of the skin. I didn't know how they stayed. So an article published in 2018 by Popular Science, which explained how tattoos work and how we came about learning about tattoos. The researchers, led by Sandrine Henry and Bernard Malisson of the Center French, started out studying naturally occurring pigments in the macrophages of black mice. When the cells that create the rodent's coloring die, they release dark pigment, and macrophages come to swallow it for safekeeping. Watching the process made them curious about how the process worked with tattoo ink, and they were surprised to see so little research had been done on the subject. Naturally, this led them to tattoo a mouse, one engineered to make its macrophages easy to kill off. After confirming that all pigment was locked away inside macrophages and then destroying them, the researchers noted no visible changes in the tattoo. Eventually, new macrophages arrived to eat the ink. They also grafted a tattooed piece of skin from one mouse to another and noted that 6 weeks later, the ink had mostly been re-ingested by macrophages native to the new host. That is very interesting. So that means that the tattoo particles, they are too large for the macrophages to digest as bacteria. So they are just sitting there, and the macrophages come in, they claim them because they are considered a foreign entity to the skin. They claim them, and then as the macrophages die, since they are not able to digest or break them down, they just come back and claim them again. So it's an ongoing cycle that occurs for the entirety that you have your tattoo. And this capture, release, capture cycle is what aids in the way that tattoos fade. One of the researchers, Mellison, said fading is likely due to the fact that during the successive capture-release cycles that we have described, minute amounts of released pigments are drained away from the skin. So, very interesting. Very interesting that this is such new information when tattoos have been around since pre-ancient Egypt. That is how tattoos are put into the skin. That is one of the reasons why they fade. Another reason that they fade is because when you have sun exposure, the UVA or UVB light comes into the skin. The melanin and the white blood cells go further up into the skin to react to the UVA and UVB lights. And as the melanin and white blood cells come in, they are reenacting that capture-release cycle with the macrophages. So let's talk about tattoo ink. Most tattoo ink, much like paints or other dyes, are derived from metal compounds. For example, yellow is derived from cadmium, blue and green are derived from chromium, red is usually mercury-based. There are red tattoo inks that are, I don't remember what they're called, but they're, instead of being metal-based, they're derived from the carcasses of bugs, just like lipstick. White tattoos are usually achieved from titanium or zinc oxide, and black ink is the most common in tattoo because it is derived from carbon. Now, carbon is the only non-metallic tattoo ink that is guaranteed non-metallic. This is a tattoo ink that stays very well in the skin, and it's known to stay longer than any other color, because since it is carbon-based, it sits at a slightly lower molecular level than the other colors. The other colors sit on top of the black. Usually tattoos that are lighter in color, like the pastels, anything with white is going to fade a lot faster than anything with black in it. Let's look at a few of his things on his page. I don't know how accurate this translation is, but it says in their bio of their second account, skin_arar. They are a tattoo and piercing shop. They do skincare, computer, cover specialist shop. I don't think that's the right word. They are based out of Seoul, Sangsu Station. They say custom skin tone treatment for individual skin tone. Injury for scars or scar treatment, or injury for skin, cacao talk. So this account, it looks like they are specializing in the scar cover-up, stretch mark cover-up. This is very common. This is a class that you can take if you pay X amount of money to learn how to do. It is considered in the permanent makeup realm of tattooing. Permanent makeup in tattooing is a whole different category because the process is very different and the aging effects are very different. Permanent makeup is not actually permanent. It's only deposited into the first layer of the skin, the epidermis, so that it fades out over the course of a few years. Microblading is considered permanent makeup. Lip blush and freckles are considered permanent makeup. They're only deposited 1 to 2 millimeters into the skin, while regular tattooing is deposited around 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters, depending on the thickness of the skin in that area. With that being said, scar cover-up is a temporary solution. It is helpful, that's for sure, but it is not considered in the same realm as this sort of tattoo because it does not penetrate the skin deep enough to stay longer than 5 years. So with that being said, it seems like they have a pretty good understanding of the skin tones, but I will say that all of the skin tones on their scar cover-up page are seemingly the same skin tone. And that might be because they are in Korea. They don't really have a whole lot of people of color there. I'm not sure about that. While I was looking through their profile, I did find a few interesting things, and I'm not sure if that's because they are based out of Korea, so they have different ways of learning how to tattoo. I know that it is a very different tattoo culture over there, obviously. But I did find there was one comment that they had. It was a post of them doing one of these infamous cover-up tattoos, and they are promoting that they're going to be in Singapore. In their caption, they explain how to book an appointment with them, to DM them, and to give them X amount of information. They say, please include a skin tone, and then it asks you to choose one from the emoji option. I've never seen that before. Usually, when you are booking a tattoo with a tattoo artist, you would include a photo of the area that you would like the tattoo to be at. You wouldn't have to tell them your skin tone, which is very strange to me. Maybe I'm reading into that. I don't know. I've just never seen that before. And then another thing that I thought was very interesting was that in one of their again, infamous cover-up tattoo posts, one of the comments that I thought was pretty funny said, "Wrap your machine, got it." And then there was a small little debate underneath that comment that said, with tape that's been rolling around on a belt in a factory, it's safer to just disinfect the machine before each session. And the original commenter said, doing both is even safer, wrap and clean each time. That same person said, the tape isn't sterile though, which is weird to me because you shouldn't be wrapping your machine with tape, you should be wrapping your machine with plastic. Usually, like if you're using a pen style machine, there are wraps made specifically for that. If you're using like another sort of machine, then you can always use like plastic wrap or barrier film, or there are ways to wrap a machine, and that is definitely something that you should be doing. After this comment, I had noticed that the tattooist Arar did start wrapping their machine, which is good. Still a red flag that they weren't already, in my opinion. I did a lot of research on their page trying to find the oldest tattoo that they've done, and out of all of the tattoos, the only healed photo that we get that is more than 6 months is this one, where it says healed 2 years, and then they added a new tattoo next to it. But that is the oldest healed tattoo that we see. And then all of these cover-up tattoos that we see are still only healed a few months. The oldest cover-up tattoo that we see is healed 6 months. And then there's another one that I found that is only healed 1 month. And they even said in one of their posts, so they have the before and after 6 months, and then this is included in a carousel slideshow of some of their like regular work, which is like the fine line minimalist rainbow tiny tattoos, probably single needle it looks like. And then underneath that, their description is all in Korean, and then very, very small in English underneath that, it says retouch is possible, but after healed, the black line might appear again. And then it's got like the little like smiling emoji with the big eyes. So you may need to do more retouch. So if even this artist is saying, yeah, we do this, but the black line is still going to appear, that's not great. And the fact that it is so hidden, and the fact that so many people are promoting this and being like, hey, look at this cool thing that we can do with tattoos. It's not a cool thing that you can do with tattoos. It is so false, because it's just gonna, the same look is gonna happen. It's just gonna keep on building on top of each other. And based off of the research that we've seen, and based off of the research that we've done, we can see that the flesh tone, the white that they add around it to like keep the black together to cover up the fuzziness, is gonna heal out faster than the black is gonna stay. It's gonna either look the same that it did before you got it covered, before you got it retouched, or it's going to look worse because you're just adding more black on top of this already fuzzy looking tattoo. When it comes to something small like this, there are options of covering it up with something larger, or something small like this could probably only be maybe 1 or 2 sessions of laser removal. It would not be difficult to remove something that's that small. It might be easier, honestly, than trying to get it touched up every 6 months. So that's my research. I'm going to be citing all of the links to the articles that I found in the description box if that's something that you want to research for yourself. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Don't fall for these Instagram or TikTok tricks, because that ain't it. That ain't it. The science says that ain't it. So anyway, if you like this video, feel free to check out the other videos on my channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Let me find it. 1 second. I saved so much shit on my phone. It's hard for me to find stuff like this because I have like my own tattoos saved on my phone. So when I see their tattoos, I just kind of breeze past it because I'm like, oh, it's just a tattoo. I've seen it. Oh, okay. Here we go.